Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is January 19th, 2021, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both bounce pre-inauguration in anticipation to tomorrow. There are no major economic events scheduled for today. So looking at the various markets, the British pounds actually bounces versus the USD. Okay, as this is happening, we're watching the indices actually bounce as well. So that's a normal thing for the dollar to actually get weaker as the indices bounce. Now, looking at the commodities, gold and oil pretty much unchanged. As we look at the stocks, will the stocks bounce today and which one we anticipate to bounce? We're going to take a look at that. And lastly, looking at cryptos, we're watching Bitcoin setting up a ascending wedge formation. I'm going to discuss that in just a second. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to take a look here at the Eur Usd at a 4-hour chart. You can see we retraced. Okay, this was anticipated. We were right here yesterday, very low volume. We did bounce, but nothing really major to really write home about. However, looking at the GBP USD, we look at a different story. Look at that jump. That jump is much more aggressive, much bigger. Okay, and much more agitated. And that's really because the GBP is much more active and more volatile than the USD. Now, altogether, okay, we are still in a upwards momentum here. Now, we did feel this double top at 136, and trust me, this is going to test this once again because we are still in this upwards momentum. Now, up until the point that we break this blue line, the 30-day moving average, we're still in an upwards momentum versus the dollar. Now, jumping into commodities, not much happening really. Look at gold, really just trading between a very tight range. Oil also, last couple of days has been really flat. However, looking at the Dow Jones, we bounced from yesterday's low of 30,679. We're right now at midpoint from our all-time highs at 30,877. Now, I do anticipate a inauguration rally. Okay, as long as there's no hidden surprises. Okay, the U.S. is in major lockdown, especially in D.C., as they're anticipating some issues around the country in inaugurating Joe Biden as president of the United States. And looking at the NASDAQ as well, also bouncing here at 12,924. Now, looking at the stocks, the tech stocks were the weakest. Okay, if we look at Apple, that's not Apple. There we go. That's Apple. If we look at Apple, it was trading at this 125 level, and it did look like it was at a transition period. Either we were going to get and bounce off of this 125 level, or we were going to trade lower. Okay, with the futures perking up this morning, I do anticipate this will be a up day for Apple. Now, looking at Jpmorgan, did lose some traction last week. Okay, ended the day on the red. Okay, after bouncing and after that initial gap down and then almost closed the gap. And I do anticipate some sort of a correctional move. Might not happen today, but I do anticipate a correctional move maybe to close up this gap and then have a sell-off, okay? Because these are way overpriced right now at these intervals. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, okay? Look at this beautiful setup that we have right here. Let's just bring up the marker, okay? We have a complete flat line here and then an ascending triangle right there, okay? And every time we lose momentum, if you look here, every time we sell off, it's not that big of a sell-off, okay? The volume is still relatively low, okay, in these areas. With that said, I do anticipate some sort of breakout on the upside, okay? But just be aware that this potentially could still happen today, okay? Which makes it a really exciting move because these type of wedge formations, they usually give us a nice move on either side. But in this case, like I said, it looks more like an ascending wedge formation, so I do anticipate some sort of breakout. This is Fred Razak, and I wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.